Hey guys, we're back at it again. Garrett Greenest here. I've been kind of MIA for all of 2019. I haven't posted anything in a year, and I've kind of been focusing my efforts on moving to Japan. So more on that later. So before last year, I was living with my best friend Jefferson in a beautiful little cottage in the Montford neighborhood in Nashville. So I spent all of early last year just grinding out at my job, just trying to make more money, and there was a brief 3 or 4 month stint where I actually worked for the Postal Service, and I was delivering mail, and that was actually a really fun experience.
Where the fuck am I?
If you can get a job working for the Postal Service, you should honestly do it. It's really, really fun. There's a sketch factor that comes with walking up to people's front doors, like strangers in areas that you may have never been to over and over again, but it's ultimately pretty fun. I mean, you drive around in a little truck and you get all your stuff together, and it's pretty cool. I liked it. But then, actually July 4th was the day I landed in Japan, and I came back, I think on September 24th or 5th, and I went there with the intention basically of learning Japanese. I'm trying to integrate myself, and I'm trying to learn the language, and I'm kind of in the process of that, but it's not really easy. When I was there, I met with some visa lawyers where I was staying in Osaka, and they gave me basically 4 options on how I can move there. They said either you can bring a business here, which I don't have a business, you can become an English teacher or have some high set of skills. I think they call it a highly skilled visa, like a doctor or lawyer or some type of special skill, which I don't really have. The third option they gave me, they said I could go there on what is like an artist's visa or entertainment visa. I am a musician. I've been playing music for 19 years, and that's kind of like what I mainly like to do, like even as a hobby, as playing as a musician, mostly guitar and bass. I actually started playing bass when I was 11, so I'm 29 now, so it's been a while. The fourth option that they gave me was to marry a Japanese person, and when I was there, I noticed there was like definitely the full-on weeb stereotype in play of like white guy moves to Japan to find himself, to marry some beautiful Japanese girl and all of that stuff, but I don't really see how I could do that. I don't really speak like fluent Japanese at all. I mean, chotto nihongo hanasemasu. But I don't feel like I could really like be in a full relationship with somebody that I don't really know. I mean, that would be kind of crazy to marry somebody that I don't even speak their language and they don't speak mine. And I mean, how could you really like get to the heart of somebody and like know who somebody is without that? So those are my 4 options. So I'm more so trying to, I guess, get a degree so that I can become an English teacher, because I was looking at the listings for the jobs that they have, and man, you get paid bank to be an English teacher in Japan. Like, you would think that they were dying for English teachers there. But that's probably going to be my best route to go. Japan is beautiful. It is amazing. A lot of the streets are multi-traffic type of streets, like there won't be any markings or anything. And there's just buildings and like rows and rows of like tiny little buildings, you know what I mean? And some are apartments, some are like little noodle houses, some are convenience stores. There's convenience stores everywhere in Japan. Literally on every block there's a Lawson's or a Family Mart or a 7-Eleven, which is apparently a Japanese company. There's just so much to do everywhere, every street you go on. Girls like this all the time. handing out their flyers or like idol girls or whatever. And so you can be walking down the street and there's people walking back and forth, there's motorcycles, there's bikes, there's cars, there's all different types of modes of transportation. Yo, and there's always these go-karts rolling by. Like people dressed like Pikachu and shit. I don't know why or what. Moving around the roads that are not the main roads. I stayed in an area of Osaka called the Nishinari ward, which I looked up and is apparently the most dangerous, sketchiest area of Japan. I don't know, it's pretty much just a lot of homeless people. Homeless people really stay to themselves. They don't really bother you or talk to you. They make little cardboard houses and stay like kind of under overpasses and stuff. They don't really bother people. It's interesting because where I live in Asheville, it's the opposite. It's like there's seasons of like homeless people that come into town specifically to find the tourists and beg for money, and sometimes they can get aggressive, sometimes they're kind of hostile. They've definitely followed me and some of my friends, and they're not always like very well mentally equipped, and some of them are just fucked up a lot of the time, honestly. But in Japan, it's very different. In the Nishinari ward, I stayed in a little Airbnb. It was like $14 a day USD. TV and shit in my bed. And it was a tiny little one single room, just a bed, a desk, and a little shelf that had a TV on it that I never watched because I had my laptop, so I had YouTube. So I would go to class 5 days out of the week, Monday through Friday, every day at 1 o'clock. Class was, I believe, 4 hours, something like that. And man, they went through everything.
いいです。とってもいいです。はい、すごい。さあ、今日は、でこれで皆さん、お名前は、お国は、どちらですか?
They went through every aspect of the Japanese language from the very beginning, from the get-go, like learning the hiragana alphabet, learning the katakana alphabet, and then learning some kanji, which are way more difficult to remember. There's, I think, over 4,000 or something that you need to know to just speak every day and like know fluent Japanese. It's, I guess, a part of the common lexicon of Japanese speaking. It was really hard. I felt really isolated. I didn't really get to talk to a lot of people while I was there. I was there for 3 months. But ultimately, my experience there was very enriching, very eye-opening. It changed a lot of my behaviors and sort of ideals about how I think about things and how I interact with people and in situations. But yeah, I loved it. That was really cool. So I got back in late September. So I was there for 3 months, and I didn't have anywhere to stay because I moved out of my house with my friend Jefferson, and I just came back on a whim. I didn't even know where I was gonna come back to. I was thinking maybe I'll go to LA and maybe I'll find some cool job, voice acting or being a musician or something that I've always wanted to do. Or maybe I'll move to Portland or Seattle and see what the Pacific Northwest is like. But ultimately, I contacted my manager from my old job at the restaurant that I've been working at, and I got a job almost instantly. Just hopped right back in, and it was awesome. And I started working, and I was able to live with one of my close friends that I've known for quite a while. She was so gracious. This girl got the cleanest bong in the game. Show me that clean ass bong. Whoop! She let me live with her for 2.5 months, her and her dog. And that was, I could never repay her for how nice that was for her to do. There's really no reason for her to even let me back into her life at all. But that was just so nice. But I was literally just crashing on her couch for 2.5 months, just working, and I had money, but I had so many bills that were back that I couldn't pay while I was in Japan. I didn't have a real phone number, and a lot of them I paid through my phone number. So after 2.5 months, I found an apartment, and that's the place that you're looking at right now. It's a little studio apartment. It's perfect for just me. This is the first time I've lived alone in like
forever.
like since I moved out of my dad's house when I was 21, I think. Like, I've only lived alone in very, very short stints, like a few months at a time, but this is my own place, like, finally. Like, I feel like a real adult. Like, I'm really living, like, for myself and creating for myself and procuring my own space and maintaining it, and it feels good. I like it a lot. I don't have everything that I want yet for my apartment because it's basically been just working paycheck to paycheck, and every time I get paid, I either have to pay some portion of rent, you know, and hold that aside, and then the rest, I've been slowly getting the things that I need to kind of get my space regular and all the things that I need. Hence why I'm sitting on the fucking floor right now, because I don't have a dining room table or any tables or chairs at all. When I found my own place, one of my friends, Emery, was moving with her boyfriend to Atlanta, and she was so gracious as to let me take a bunch of things off of her hands that she just didn't have anything to do with, and she didn't want to move to Atlanta, like a bed, like these 2 couches, this nice lamp right here, all this nice stuff. And I integrated that into my stuff, and that really helped me out a lot.
And basically, my friends are the greatest. I have the greatest friends, and they are so nice and welcoming, and they always accept me, and they're always just so good to me. I love my friends so much, and you're gonna meet more of them.
In the 2020 season of Garrett Greenest YouTube. So I've moved into this apartment. I've been getting things little by little. Like, I didn't have forks, knives, I didn't have bowls, plates, glasses, anything. I didn't have anything at all when I came back, except for what was in my suitcase that I was using in Japan. And so all I had were really my clothes, and nothing else, really nothing else. Like, so I got back and I at least had a bed. I, you know, had essentials like the soap and toothpaste and toothbrush and a towel, and just like the very, very base minimal stuff I've been slowly building. So it's been, let's see, I think I moved in December 17th, so it's been about 2 whole months that I've been living here. My life situation has changed drastically, and it is so good now. It is so good. I'm so gracious for everything that my life has provided for me, and I'm gracious that my job just accepted me back, even though I left them to work for the Postal Service, which was kind of a better job, but I wanted to just give you that life update, just tell you what I've been doing over the past year, and give you a little tour of my studio apartment here in Asheville. So let's take a look around, and I'll show you what I'm working with basically right now. So when you walk in the front door, this is what you see. This is my room, my kitchen, my dining area where I was just sitting, and my living room, I guess. But of course I got my lo-fi anime hip hop to sleep, relax, study to going. This is my bed. This is not everything that I need for it yet. I don't have a proper bed set yet. I just have a sheet, a throw blanket, and 2 pillows, one of which doesn't have a case on it. But I've got these shelves that are all over my apartment, and I've kind of decked them out with some of my old stuff that I left at my dad's whenever I was leaving for Japan. I left him a box of stuff. Here's some pictures I took in Japan. This was the windowsill in my room and some flowers I found one night. This is my favorite alleyway I walk past on my way to school every day. This was this really pretty alleyway, just all these red lights just lit up, all the izakayas and the bars and all the restaurants. And here is Dotonbori. This is where all the restaurants and everything, where I walked through here probably 100 times while I was there. And here's the famous Griko sign right in Dotonbori. And this is a cool tapestry I got. There's actually a bunch of ugly holes and dents on this wall just beyond here, so I had to hang something up to make it not look so terrible. But here's my instruments. I haven't seen any of these in a long time, but this is my bass that I've had since I was 11. And here's my acoustic guitar that I've had since I was, dang, probably 16. I got it for free. This guy gave it to me when I was in high school for free. It's so attitude. A nylon string guitar that my dad gave me for my birthday one year. It's about 40 years old. I love this thing. I played this little teeny nylon string guitar whenever I was in Japan. I bought one because I had to have a guitar while I was there. This is my little kitchenette. Got the only 2 pot and pan I own. My little teapot. And the only tumbler I own. And the only knives I own. It's so sad. But it's progress. It's definitely things that I need. My barren cabinet with essentially nothing. And let's see what I got in the fridge here. My purified water, which is essential. And then 3 condiments. Fantastic. But one thing I do like is the fact that minimal dishware. I don't want a bunch of dishware. I live alone, so I have 4 of everything. Yay. And so you come back here in the hallway, and you got your mirror. And let me turn this on. My closet, which here's some more stuff that I left with my dad that he brought to me so graciously. But yeah, this is the dresser my friend Emery gave me. This is really gracious of her. My jackets, my dress shirts for work. And right behind that is my little bathroom. Very little, but I'm glad I actually have a tub now, because in the last house I lived in, I only had an upright shower, and that was not really so premium. But yeah, I had to get this shelf so I could put stuff on it. Here's a cute little plant my friend Phoebe gave me as a housewarming present. I want to deck my house out with plants for sure. That is definitely something that I really want. Moving in, I walked up to this door, and this ugly door, and I asked the landlord, I was like, oh, what's behind there? And he was like, nothing, this is it. And I was like, this is it? And he was like, yep. And I was like, oh shit, well, okay, whatever. I mean, I guess it's only for me, right? But this is my little space, and I love it for sure. Gotta be a lot of magic happening here. Ooh. So that's pretty much what's going on with me now. So now I live here, and I really have been so anxious and so apprehensive and so just wanting badly to make videos and make content. But since my interest shifted into trying to move to Japan and taking baby steps to get there, like I went there in 2018 in May, and I went for only like a week, and I saw Osaka and Kyoto and Tokyo and just all the tourist highlights. I was just a total tourist. I didn't hardly know any Japanese at all, and I just went for fun, just to see if I even liked Japan at all. And it was actually the first time I went out of the country. I left alone, and I went there and just saw what it was like, and I loved it. All my expectations were completely blown, way wild over the top, what I thought it was gonna be. So then plan 2 was to find a way or means to be in Japan for a little bit longer, because the shortest visa that you can stay on is a tourist visa, which lasts 90 days. So I took classes for 90 days. So that way I could stay without taking on a more substantial visa that made me have to spend more money, basically, because I'm kind of broke. But it definitely ruined my financial situation entirely going to Japan. I was so broke the entire time. And a lot of the time I would just go to the super, the supermarket, and just get like rice and eggs and soy sauce. And that was all I ate forever. That was like all I ate for like a month straight. It was just like rice, eggs, and soy sauce. If you're in Japan on a tourist visa, you can't work. There's actually something that got overturned in like 2018 or something like that. You can't work in Japan if you're on a tourist visa, which is really unfortunate because that would have helped me a lot. I actually looked for side work while I was there this past summer to see if there was any way I could earn money. There was even this one night that I found this huge bag of like brand new magic cards that were just sitting on the sidewalk in Japan. Like, I could not believe it.
Yo, what? So I'm walking home tonight, right? And I just happened to see this huge bag full of magic cards. What the fuck?
And I just took it with me. Why not? And I tried to sell them, and they said they would sell them to me for 2 yen, which is basically like 2 cents. So that didn't go as planned. But while I was in Japan this past summer, I really did love it. I can't stress that enough. It was hard, it was challenging. I didn't have a lot of money, I didn't have a lot of resources to work with, and I still had to go to school, and I still had to get good grades and focus on that. I didn't want to waste the tuition I'd paid in going there. But being there for the second time solidified my interests and solidified how much I really enjoyed it, and all the things that I liked about it were amplified. And coming back to the US, I've described it before as getting out of a hot tub, being in Japan. That's nice, the jets are going, it's like all bubbly and nice, and then you come back to the US and it's like getting in a dirty pool with like leaves and sticks and bugs in it. It's like way different. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I love the US. I've lived here my entire life. But compared to Japan, not really even comparable. That's not to say Japan doesn't have its problems.
Man, look at this stupid shit. You don't know what the fuck that means, fuck boy? Yeah, you getting snatched, bruh. Fuck your hat. Just so y'all know. Right where it belongs.
But the problems that they have are very different from the problems that the US has, and they're almost less effective because of the culture of, I guess you could say it's Asian-centric culture, is more the collectivist idea of we're all here doing this and not I'm me doing me, fuck you. It's about money for me and everybody else is nobody. It's different. It's a different vibe. And if you ever go to, I guess Japan is really the only country I can speak of, it is kind of like that. You kind of feel, everybody has a sense of what's good and what is wrong, and everybody just kind of does the right thing. Like, you go to stores and the displays, like you go to like a mall in the US and you look at like a toy display or clothing display or something that's just thrown around and like has fingerprints and stains on it and it's gross. In Japan, people take care of stuff like crazy. It's crazy. Like, you see hundreds of bikes just lining the streets and not one of them is locked up. Just because people know you shouldn't steal bikes. They just don't do it. It's weird. But I guess my central focus while I'm in the US is I want to bring fun content to you guys. I know this video hasn't been the most fun. I know there's not a lot of cool stuff that I've shown you or anything, but I wanted to give some context to my life and kind of show who I am as a person. But I do have a lot of ideas, and I have a lot of cool friends that I want to show you guys. I'm going to be posting way more regularly now, and you'll see that. I just want to make sure that I can bring cool stuff to you guys, because I think I have 10 subscribers right now, and it's fun. I love making videos. I love making things for people. I love making people laugh. I love seeing people get excited about things, and that's what I want to bring to people. So if you do come across this video, random YouTuber, just give me a subscribe. Let's see where this goes. We're already off on the journey. I'm sorry I took a year off. 10 subscribers. We'll be back, and we're coming back week after week, and I'm gonna be trying to show you a bunch of interesting things, regional things, cultural things. I want to take my channel and move it to more of, I guess, like a entertainment, comedy / vlogging. So you kind of get a sense of where I'm coming from and who I am, and I'm not just this random, null, innocuous face talking to you through the computer screen or your phone screen. But that's enough with it. That's my life update. I'm gonna have some more content for you next week. We're going to be doing a mukbang. That's gonna be my first mukbang I've ever done. Everybody loves mukbangs. But at this point, with my channel being so young and so small and not posting in a year, I am begging you, just subscribe to my channel. Just give me a like. Just throw that shit on there, because we need to trick that algorithm into thinking that I'm a nice, cool person that people should watch. So that's basically where we're at. All right, guys, thank you for checking out my new apartment with me and listening to my life update. We'll be back again soon, but I guess until next time, I'll see you soon. Be good.